Hi yogis, it's me Mike. I'm out here on my back deck here in Anchorage today. Sun's shining, water, the creek behind me is flowing, maybe you can hear that. And today we're just going to do a little yoga, uh, Kakasana, the crow pose. We're going to be our highlight for today. And it takes a lot of abdominal strength to do that, also wrist flexibility and wrist strength to do that. And if you're new to crow pose, I suggest getting some pillows and blankets ready, and I'll cue that when we get to it, so that a lot of people have, when they first do it, there's a fear of falling forward onto your head when you're in an arm balance, like a crow pose. So we can alleviate that by putting a bunch of pillows there. So gather up all your pillows and your bolsters and your blankets and all that kind of thing, and we'll get started. So first thing we'll do, we're going to come down onto our hands and knees. Knees directly underneath hips, wrists directly underneath shoulders, fingers spread. And we're going to do a little cat-cow. So drop your belly on the inhale, your gaze comes up. On the exhale, your back comes toward the sky, and your gaze comes toward your feet. On the inhale, pull your hands toward your knees horizontally. And on the exhale, push your hands away from your knees horizontally. So inhale, pull, exhale, push. Inhale, and exhale. One more time. Inhale, and exhale. Okay, now just come into a neutral tabletop, flat back. We're just going to wag the tail. My right hip sticks out to the side. Look over your left shoulder at your left ankle. Just really stick that right hip out. We're doing lateral flexion of the spine here. Come the other way, stick the left hip out. Look over your right shoulder at your right ankle. And then just follow your breath. Back and forth as the airplane flies overhead. It's a little different teaching it outside the studio and practicing outside the studio. It's all the same, it's all yoga. And then coming back in neutral tabletop, walk your hands forward about a foot and come in a puppy dog. Hips go back. Get long between your arms, long between your hands and your hips. Lengthen your arms, lengthen your underarms, your shoulders. Maybe your forehead comes down to the mat and you can roll right and left on your forehead on the mat. Or just push back and inhale, deep, and deep exhale. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Then walk your hands over to the left corner of your mat, plant both hands, and push that right hip back. Right hip goes back. Big lateral stretch on the right side. Breathe into that right lung. Really stretch the ribs on the right side. And then come up and plant both hands over on the right corner of your mat. Stick that left hip back. Left hip goes back. Big lateral stretch along the left side body. Open up the intercostal muscles between those left ribs. And then come back up in the center. Assume a neutral tabletop again. We're just going to do a spinal twist. We're going to thread the needle. Right hand comes up and comes underneath the left hand. And then the right hand comes out, or the left hand comes out forward. Look up into the sunshine. Stack your left shoulder on top of your right to the extent possible. And then sneak that left hand back in, push yourself back up. Find your neutral tabletop. Take the left hand up and come underneath the right. Where you're stack the right shoulder on top of the left. And then push back up a neutral tabletop. Now, wherever you are, just assume a neutral tabletop position. Back is flat. And then take your right hand, and so we're going to do a little abdominal mindfulness here. It's not really too strenuous, but I just want you to pay attention to what your abdominal muscles are doing. So take your right hand up. Now bring your right hand back down, put it back down. Now focus on your abdominal muscles, all on both sides of your body and the front body. Now slowly take the weight off your right hand. Very slowly take the weight off your right hand and reach it out in front of you. Now, which part of your abdominal is engaged with that? Now, take the left leg and come up. So that works different sets of abdominals between your arm and your leg. Come to sunbird. You can bring that out to the side if you like. Your arm and your leg, come back in the runway and come down for a landing. So I think it's real interesting. I'll do a little research on abdominals, and this is one of the finer points of abdominal engagement, is to be able to pay attention which abdominals engage with a little subtle movement like raising your arm. So now we're going to raise our left arm, neutral tabletop. Feel your abdominals. Everything is symmetrical between your body. Right and left is symmetrical right now. Now, weight your right hand. Weight off your left. Pick your left up. For me, it's engaging the abdominals more on my left side, front and left of my abdominal. Reach those fingers out, and then the right leg comes up behind, just to the height of your hip, no higher, or it can be a little bit lower. You can actually put your toe on the mat if you like. And they can come out sideways. Come back in. And come down. Now just wiggle that around, a little organic movement. Wiggle that around a little bit. It's important in crow pose to have a nice flexible spine. So now we're going to just flip over onto our back. And feet, we're going to do bridge pose. Feet come up by the hips, arms down to your side. Press your knees away from your shoulders. Your collarbones come up toward the sky. Bridge pose. Strengthening the back muscles now. Rotate down, one vertebrae at a time. When you get down, rotate that pelvis forward. Then the pelvis rotates backwards as you come back up. Press toward the ceiling. And then come back down. We're going to do it one more time. Come up. Hold that. Knees are hip width apart. Toes directly forward. Push your knees away from your shoulders. See if you can maybe rotate your collarbones a little more towards your head. And then rotate down one vertebrae at a time. And then just bring those knees in and circle. Circle your knees toward the sky. It's funny, I keep wondering if a bird's going to fly over and nail me. And then bring your knees down. Now, we're going to do a little abdominal work because the crow pose, Bakasana, or Kakasana, really requires a lot of abdominal engagement. So we're going to do a little bit of work here. So we're going to take our legs out straight and our arms up and overhead. Legs come up, arms come up. Legs straight, arms straight. This nice straight movement. We're just working our rectus abdominis now. You can bend your knees and bend your arms if you want to. Or you can leave them straight. I know I haven't been doing as much abdominal work with this hunker down as I used to. Okay, now we're going to go down. The feet come down to the right corner of my mat, arms to the left. Back to center, feet to the left corner of your mat, arms to the right. So we're doing a little sideways movement. It works the oblique muscles then if we come to the sideways side a little bit. We're going to do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we come down, rest. Just take your knees, windshield wipe your knees, feet flat on the mat. So a little windshield wiper of your knees. And then we're just going to roll over to one side and push ourselves up. And we'll come up to standing. Alrighty. Now, we're going to stand in Tadasana. So in Tadasana, our feet are hip width apart. You can find where your front hip points are. Directly underneath that should be your feet, or close to it. Second toes directly forward, engage your thighs, engage your glutes. Lower ribs down just a little, engage your abdominals. Shoulders back and down. Chin parallel with the floor, back a little bit. Tadasana. Arms up and overhead. Just going to do a little lateral bend. And I'm going to bend my inner knee as I do this because I want to get a big stretch along my hip. Kakasana requires some hip flexibility, and so I want to get those hip flexor muscles stretched out. Both stretched and strengthened. You don't want to stretch too much, you don't want to strengthen too much, you want to balance both those. We learned that in our psoas session, that it's important to have your psoas and all your muscles balanced both in strength and flexibility. So now we're going to come down, and I want to do a little bit of wrist flexibility. So we're going to interlock our fingers, and we're just going to do figure eights. Stay in Tadasana. So engage your thighs, engage your glutes. Your bones are stacked. What that does is stack your bones right over your heels, right over your feet. Now go the other way with your hands. And then take your hands, invert your fingers, interlock out in front of you, come up, and then we'll rotate for a twist one way, arms back up, and we'll rotate for a twist the other way. Arms back up, hands down to heart center. Now interlock your fingers one over from what you just had, and push your hands out in front of you. And then we're going to do the wave. Tidal wave. Since we can't go to Hawaii right now, we're just going to bring Hawaii to ourselves, and we're going to watch the beach with our arms. Now go the other way. Got a fly in my hair. And then just shake that out. Now, take your left arm out, right hand comes over and grabs right at your wrist, right behind the hand, and then just pull that, and then rotate one arm one way, one arm the other way. So we want to put a little traction on our wrist, but we also want to rotate opposite directions with our arms, get just a micro movement in our wrists, micro movement of flexibility in our wrists. And then let that go, shake that out, and then right arm comes up, grab it with my left hand and rotate as I pull traction. And then shake that out. Good. Now just shake everything. Just shake, shake, shake like a big dog. Okay, now we're going to stand Tadasana again. We're going to do DJ hands. So this is where we build strength in our forearms, which is what is really helpful in arm balances to help maintain that equilibrium. So hands down to side, elbows straight, lock your elbows straight, hands come up so you're supinating your palms toward the floor, and then we just rotate our entire arm from the shoulder, humerus, forearm, everything, and you can go as fast as you like. You can bend your knees, do a little dance. Keep your elbows straight though, keep your elbows straight. What we're doing is we're working the forearm muscles. You pull these fingers back up toward the sky, and we're just working these forearm muscles. So and if you know a good DJ rap, get after that. Okay. Now the other thing that's required for Kakasana is to have good shoulder flexibility. So we're gonna do combine a balance with some shoulder work now. So we're gonna do a eagle pose. So we're gonna balance on our left leg first. So engage the thigh, engage the glute. Come up and over with the right leg, cross over, and you can have your toes on the mat if you like. Right arm comes up, left arm over the top, and you wrap around. Find a focal point. Maybe bend that standing leg a little bit. Hold that. And then as you're about to fall out, you can come out. Fly out of it. I'm going to move off that squishy mat for a minute while I do the other side. So, engage my thigh of my right leg, my glute, left leg up and over, cross. Left arm comes out, right arm over the top. Wrap your arms where they can come back to back or all the way around. Bend that standing leg a little bit. Your back stays nice and straight, just like Tadasana, from your hips to your shoulders. Find a focal point. And then come out of that. Good. Just want to do a little bit more flexibility for your shoulders. So this is going to be airplane exercise, and you want to do this really slow. So don't if you're at home, don't start windmilling your arms around. That's going to be bad for your shoulders, but it's good if you can do it slow. So the way this works, arms up and overhead, left arm forward, right arm back, and I twist my hips as I'm doing this. Left arm forward, right arm back, nice and slow. They come down by your sides. They come down by your side. You square your hips to the front, right arm forward, left arm back, and it comes up to this top. When it comes up to the top, square your hips again, left arm forward, right arm back. And my hips turn, and they square at top and bottom. At the bottom, your right arm forward, your left arm back. Come up to the top, left arm forward, right arm back. And come down. Now we're going to do it the other way. Arms up to the top. Right arm forward, left arm back. Square at the bottom, right arm back, left arm forward. Come to the top, right arm forward, left arm back. Good. Right arm forward, left arm back. This is not a swimming. This is propeller arms. As one arm goes one way, the other arm goes the opposite direction. And don't think about it too much. Just let your body do it. After a while, it's just natural. And then come down, shake out those shoulders. That's a lot of work on the shoulder. So shake all that out. Okay, let me see how many minutes we got in. We've got 22 minutes. Okay, good. So that's a good warm-up. Okay, now I want to do just a little bit of a standing series here. So we're going to do just a quick moon salute. So we're going to stand over on the right side of our mat. Arms come up. Lateral bend. Step out to your mat. Feet out at 45-degree angle. Back nice and straight. Goalpost arm, goddess pose. You come back up. Feet rotate to the left. Come in. Triangle pose. Rotate to the left for a crescent lunge. Bring your hands down to the mat for a runner stretch. Rotate to the front for your crouching tiger. Sneak over to the other side for your crouching tiger. Come in to the right for runner's lunge. Push up into crescent. Straighten that right knee out for triangle. Come up, 5-point star, crescent, or goddess. And we're going to step to the left side of our mat. Left. We're going to go a little bit faster this time. Lateral bend left, lateral bend right. Step out, feet out, goddess. Come up, rotate right, triangle, crescent lunge, runner's lunge, crouching tiger, crouching tiger, good for the hamstrings, runner's lunge, crescent lunge, triangle, come up 5-point star, feet out 45, goddess pose. This time we're going to go over to the right side of our mat, step over to the right, and a final lateral bend to the left, lateral bend to the right, hands down at heart center. Good. Moon salute. Now just shake all that out, shake everything out, and we're good. Okay. Somebody's cooking something. It smells really good. So, now we're going to come into our Kakasana. So, this is where, if you got a good crow practice, you know where we're going. If you're new to crow, or if you want to, if you haven't done it for a while, which I haven't done this for some time, this is where it's great to have all your blankets and your pillows and your bolsters and whatnot. So now we're gonna, I'll show you where we're gonna go with this thing. So come down onto your mat. If you want your pillows and bolsters and all that, in fact, if you want your pillows and bolsters and all, I'm gonna just stop this for 1 second. I'm gonna put it on pause. No, I'm not. I'm afraid if I do that, I'm going to lose you. So anyway, put your bolsters right out in front of you, your pillows right out in front of you, right in front of your hands. Because when we come up in the crow pose, your head is going to come down on top of those pillows. Your head comes right on top of it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So in order to do this, we come into a squat. So a squat is just Balasana. That's a squat. Maybe we should all practice that. So everybody come into your squat. So feet can be out. If you have a blanket, you can roll up a blanket, put it sideways, and your heels can come up on that. So your heels can come up a little bit higher. And you just come down to a squat. If your feet aren't flat, you can put some underneath your heels, like I said, to bring your heels up. This is the start of crow pose. Now, you don't have to be able to do a squat in order to do crow pose, but this is the way it starts. You can also do it just from a position like this. So if you can't get in a full squat with your hips a little bit higher, that's where we're going to go anyway. So, let me get squared up on the camera. My hand's going to come down onto the mat, and my hands are rotated externally. They're rotated out just a little bit, Fingers are spread wide. That's important to have a good solid base. And what I want to do is bring my knees up on my triceps, and as close to my armpit as I can. So here's where I raise my hips up to get my knees up. I come up on my toes to get my knees up higher. Bring my hands underneath me, find a focal point, and knees come up, and then you just rotate forward. And you come back down. So now let's all try that. And maybe there's some bus stops here too. So let's just go through these bus stops. Hands down, get in your squat position, feet come up. Okay, here's one bus stop right here. Feet, hands, maybe you just go like this. This is baby crow. Baby crow. Maybe you want to go a little bit farther and just put your head on all these pillows. You got a whole stack of pillows here, or blocks or blankets, whatever you got, a whole stack. Maybe just put your head on that and just rest your head on that, and then maybe your feet come up just a little bit. And that's another bus stop. And then if you want to do the full thing, just go ahead and come forward with your head on those blankets. Don't turn your head when you have weight on your head. Don't turn your neck. Keep your gaze down, and then come forward and pick your toes up off the mat. Put your big toes together. Your big toes come together, and that's the full expression of Kakasana. That's the crow pose. Like ka, crow pose. Now that we've done that crow pose, and you can pause the video and practice this at this point a little bit. If we were doing it in a yoga studio, we'd workshop this amongst the community, amongst all the students. We'd help each other and encourage each other through this. But now, as we're doing this at home, it's a little different. So now I'm going to take Kakasana into Bakasana. So crow to crane, crow to crane. But before I do that, I'll show you one more crow pose. It's called Kakasana Muerto, dead crow. So you can do this on your back. Come on your back, feet up, arms up, hands out, knees on your triceps, dead crow. So you can do that. And if you want to go one step, if you got a pretty good crow pose, you want to go one step farther to go from crow to crane, Kakasana to Bakasana, all you do is you straighten your arms. And it takes a lot of abdominal strength, because now instead of your weight on your tricep and on your bones, you got to hold the entire weight of your torso with your abdominal muscles. So here we go. Then straighten your hands, arms. And once you get those arms straight, it's hard to hold that for very long. You can hold the crow for quite a while once you get it figured out, but getting in that crane pose is a little more. So now we're just going to wind down our session today, and I want to just sit on your mat. I'll get my heart rate down after that. I don't think I was breathing enough on that. Not distributing the oxygen through my body. So I don't have anything with me right here out on my deck, but if you can sit up on something, that'd be cool. We're just going to take our legs wide, come into Shirshasana bend. Your right leg in toward your left thigh, your left foot straight up. We're going to twist toward our bent knee. Left hand comes down along that leg, and you can come up and over. Nice lateral stretch, Shirshasana. Come up, facing that knee. Now we're going to do a little twist to the other way. And we come out of it. We're just going to straighten that left leg right out in front of us. Right leg comes up and over. Now we're going to twist both directions. Nice and easy twist. Don't pull yourself into this. Just let your abdominals work it. You can hold it with your arm, but then we come back out in the center. Your right leg comes out this side, left leg comes in. Right toes toward the sky. Right arm down along that leg, left arm back up and over. Nice lateral stretch for the left side. Back up and over. Straighten your right leg straight out in front of you. Left leg comes up and over. The foot comes up, you can't get it, you just put it on the inside or come around the outside. Then we're going to twist one direction. We're going to come around, twist the other direction. Then we come back out in the center. Put your feet in Bakasana. That's soles of the feet together. I don't know if you can see mine. Soles of the feet together. If you had blocks or something, you put underneath your knees to support those. Your hands come down to your feet or your ankles or your shins. And then nice straight back. We're just going to lean forward whatever extent we can. And then maybe you round your back. Stretch your hip flexors out. Feet then come out. Come back down onto your mat. Straight on your mat. Come into happy baby. Soles of the feet toward the sky. Grab the outside edges of your feet. Maybe you check mark your feet. Extend one leg, pull the other one in, and alternate. And then feet come down to the mat. Legs come out. Spread your feet out. Let your toes, your feet roll out to the side. Your toes roll out. Arms down to your side. Come into your Shavasana. Now you can stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. And thanks for coming to yoga today. This is Mike signing out. Until next time, thanks so much for joining me today. Namaste.